They say when loyalty is questioned, silence is no longer an option on. That might be exactly what just exploded between Yandy Smith and Kirk Frost. Reports have surfaced of a shocking twist in the love and hip-hop universe, where Kirk has allegedly pointed fingers at Yandy over some behind-the-scenes behavior that's now become the center of an all-out war. And if that wasn't enough to send fans into a frenzy, Yandy didn't just ignore the accusations. She fired back hard, calling out Kirk and even dragging Rasheeda into the mess with bombshell claims that have left social media in utter chaos. Sources close to the situation say it all started over a heated conversation that took a wrong turn, with Kirk reportedly accusing Yandy of stirring up drama and crossing boundaries she shouldn't have. But instead of backing down, Yandy hit record. In a now circulating clip from her live, she calls Kirk's entire accusation pathetic and hints that she's been holding on to receipts that could flip the whole narrative. Then came the twist no one saw coming. Yandy alleges that Kirk and Rasheeda have been hiding something major. Something that could damage their carefully curated image forever. Fans are shocked. Celebrities are picking sides, and even the Love and Hip Hop cast appears divided. People are saying the energy between Yandy and Rasheeda has shifted on camera, with their one solid bond now feeling cold and tense. And now the question buzzing through the internet is this: what exactly did Yandy mean when she said, "If I really told the truth about them, this whole industry would shake"? Did Kirk mess with the wrong one? Is Yandy ready to bring the whole empire down? Get ready, because this isn't just gossip. It's a full-blown eruption that might tear friendships, marriages, and reputations apart. The war has begun, and we're breaking down every twist, every clapback, and every exposed secret. Keep watching, because it's about to get messy. When the whispers turned into accusations, it was only a matter of time before everything erupted. Insiders close to the production say Kirk Frost had been growing increasingly uncomfortable with the way Yandy Smith was moving behind the scenes. The tension had apparently been bubbling for weeks, starting from a quiet disagreement during a production meeting that turned personal fast. Kirk allegedly felt that Yandy was inserting herself into matters that had nothing to do with her, particularly when it came to his past with Jasmine and how Rasheeda chose to navigate that mess. While Kirk didn't initially name names, a cryptic comment he made during a group event filming sent shockwaves through the cast. Some people love pretending they're holier than thou, but they're the biggest puppeteers in the room, he said while looking directly at Yandy. That one line reportedly changed the energy completely. Cast members who were present say Yandy didn't respond right away, but her face said it all. According to those on set, she locked eyes with Kirk for a few seconds, nodded slowly, and then walked out of the scene without another word. The silence didn't last long. Within 24 hours, Yandy took to her personal platform to address the elephant in the room without naming Kirk directly. But her message was razor sharp. "Some people are mad because they can't control me. But baby, you should have cleaned your own house before pointing at mine." Then, in a video that quickly went viral, fans immediately connected the dots and began dissecting what she meant. Many assumed she was referring to Kirk and Rasheeda's long history of scandal and betrayal, suggesting that Kirk had no right to speak on anyone's character. But what came next took everything to a level nobody expected. In a follow-up post, Yandy revealed that she had been biting her tongue out of respect for the kids and families involved, but that she was done protecting people who throw stones from a glass mansion. What made Yandy's response even more explosive was the fact that she didn't just defend herself, she flipped the narrative completely. She hinted that Kirk had made several attempts in the past to control the way certain storylines played, out on camera allegedly trying to manipulate who got to speak and when. And then, in what many are calling the clapback of the year, she said, "If I really told y'all what I know about how that household works, they wouldn't be worried about me, they'd be worried about each other." That one sentence lit the internet on fire. Thousands of fans flooded the comments section with questions, speculation, and outright shock. People began pulling up old clips, past interviews, and past confrontations between Yandy and Rasheeda, trying to figure out if the tension had been brewing longer than anyone realized, and what they found only added fuel to the flames. Fans pointed out moments in previous seasons where Rasheeda seemed distant toward Yandy, or where Kirk made slick comments under his breath that were brushed off as jokes. One particularly telling scene showed Rasheeda quickly changing the subject when Yandy brought up transparency in relationships. It didn't go unnoticed anymore. But the biggest twist came when Yandy, clearly fed up, dropped an old voice note. That, fans claim, sounds eerily like Kirk, allegedly venting to a third party about how Rasheeda always wants to act like she's in control. But she don't know half the stuff I got going on. While Yandy didn't confirm the voice as Kirk's, she captioned the post with a single line, "Don't play with me." Rasheeda, who had remained silent up until that point, finally broke her silence with a post of her own. It was a slick selfievideo.com on the surface, but with an edge that fans instantly picked up on. "Everybody wants a moment these days," she said while sipping a drink, "but not everybody deserves one. And real queens don't need to air dirty laundry to feel powerful." It was graceful yet loaded, and many saw it as a subtle but sharp response to Yandy's escalating commentary. Still, the silence from Kirk was deafening. While he had sparked the fire, he seemed to disappear once Yandy's counterattack landed. As the online chaos intensified, speculation started swirling that this feud had roots much deeper than anyone had realized. Some insiders even claimed that this wasn't just about Kirk's accusations or Yandy's clapback. It was the final eruption of tensions that had been quietly brewing for years behind perfectly curated smiles and social media shoutouts. Old interviews were suddenly being revisited, and fans began pointing out moments where the cracks in Yandy and Rasheeda's friendship were plain to see if you looked closely enough. From awkward silences during group scenes to subtle side eyes. At reunions, the red flags had been there all along. The internet, as always, turned into a full-blown investigation unit. But what really sent things into overdrive was a video that surfaced of an alleged off-camera argument between Kirk and a producer during a late-night shoot. While the footage was grainy and partially muted, one line came through clearly. Kirk saying, "You think she can control everything just because she got a camera crew and a few followers? She forgot who built this house." Although Kirk didn't name Yandy, everyone assumed he was referring to her. The timing lined up too perfectly. And the phrase "she forgot who built this house" became an instant meme, with fans mocking Kirk for acting like the entire franchise revolved around him. Yandy, ever the strategist, didn't respond directly. At first, instead, she started posting behind-the-scenes clips from older seasons, moments where she was seen uplifting other women, speaking on unity, and refusing to take sides in past cast drama. It was her way of showing that she's always taken the high road. But then came a bombshell post. Yandy uploaded a selfie with the caption, "Funny how the ones screaming about control are the same ones begging producers not to air their real life." It was subtle, it was cutting, and it confirmed what many suspected. Kirk had tried to shut down certain scenes from airing. Rasheeda, who had managed to keep her distance from the blow-by-blow exchanges, finally started showing cracks. During a live session with her fans promoting her boutique, someone in the comments asked if she and Yandy were still cool. Rasheeda's expression shifted instantly. She paused, looked straight at the camera, and said, "Let's just say, people be showing their true colors. And some of us are done painting over them." The shade wasn't just obvious, it was deliberate. And it only added fuel to the narrative that this friendship was beyond repair. Things got even messier when Karen, an old mutual friend of both women who had stayed off camera for years, decided to jump in. She posted a now-deleted story claiming that Yandy once covered up for Kirk during a time he was being messy in Atlanta, and that Rasheeda knew about it but chose to blame Yandy anyway to protect Kirk's image. In Karen's words, they used her loyalty against her, and now that she's not playing along, they flipping the script. Screenshots of the post went viral before it vanished, and fans began wondering, was Yandy complicit in protecting Kirk's secrets before? And is that why she's so mad now? Meanwhile, the rest of the cast couldn't keep quiet. Carly Red, who had always floated somewhere between ally and agitator, took to her stories to post a message that read, "Every empire falls, and it always starts from the inside." It was pure chaos fuel, and her followers loved it. Bambi added to the fire by commenting on a gossip blog post with a popcorn emoji and the words, "Ben knew." Even Spice, who tends to avoid the Frost drama altogether, liked a tweet that said, "Kirk, need to sit this one out. He got more kids than receipts." With all the noise online, fans started pressuring the network to release raw footage of the scenes that allegedly sparked the feud. The producers stayed silent. But a leak surfaced showing a snippet of an upcoming episode where Yandy confronts Kirk in front of a small group, including Erica and Kendra. The scene is tense from the start. Yandy says, "You came for me, like I ain't got a family to protect. Like I'm out here just making things up." Kirk, sitting back in his chair, replies, "I said what I said. You playing messy games and acting like you better than everybody?" Yandy doesn't flinch. She stares him down and says, "Nah, I just don't need to lie to look loyal." It was a short clip, but the energy in the room was undeniable. Even Erica, who's no stranger to drama herself, looked uncomfortable. Kendra, ever poised, just stared at the floor. And as the scene cut off, fans were already labeling it the beginning of the season's most iconic confrontation. The comment sections flooded with messages like "Team Yandy all day" and "Kirk always throwing stones from his glass house." But things took a sharp emotional turn when Yandy posted a tearful video late one night. Sitting in her car, makeup smudged and voice shaking, she said, "You think because someone's strong that they don't bleed? You think because I clap back that I'm not hurting? I gave everything to this sisterhood, and they played me like a storyline." Fans were stunned. For all her power and presence, this was the first time Yandy showed genuine vulnerability. She ended the video by saying, "I ain't perfect, but I'm not fake. And I'm tired of pretending everything's okay when it's not." Sent shockwaves across social media. Even those who weren't fans of Yandy felt for her. Celebrities began to comment, with a few sending support messages publicly. A-list names from other reality franchises even reposted her video with messages of solidarity. Suddenly, this wasn't just about a fight between cast members, it was about the emotional toll of public betrayal, especially when it's from someone you once called a sister, Rasheeda. Meanwhile, seemed determined to keep her narrative clean and calm. She posted a series of well-lit, confident photos with the caption, "Peace isn't passive, it's power." But the fans weren't letting her off easy. Her comments filled with people asking her to address the actual drama, to speak directly, instead of with quotes and captions. Some accused her of hiding behind Kirk's mistakes, while others demanded she own up if there was any truth to what Yandy had been hinting at. As pressure mounted, Kirk made a rare appearance on social media to share a short video from his office. "Don't believe everything you hear. Don't let gossip ruin what took years to build," he said. "And most of all, remember, some people got too much time on their hands. It didn't help." Fans dragged him instantly. One tweet summed it up perfectly. He got time to... Then came the unexpected twist. Jasmine, the same woman whose name had long haunted Rasheeda's marriage thanks to Kirk's past cheating, broke her silence in a now-viral podcast appearance. While discussing forgiveness and personal growth, Jasmine was asked about the current Love and Hip Hop feud. At first, she tried to remain neutral, but when pressed, she said, "It's crazy seeing the same people who told me to stay quiet now crying wolf. Yandy ain't the problem. Trust me." the room went silent. That one sentence sent fans into a frenzy. Was Jasmine indirectly confirming that Rasheeda had once asked her to keep quiet about certain things? And was she now siding with Yandy? Suddenly, Yandy's previous statements didn't feel like exaggerations. They started to look like facts. The internet exploded again. More bloggers began dissecting Jasmine's interview, pointing out that she was clearly more informed than she let. One blog claimed to have a source that confirmed Jasmine was once offered money to keep her interactions with Kirk and Rasheeda off the show. Again, nothing confirmed. But the damage was already done. Rasheed, a single quotes as silence after the Jasmine interview, only added to the storm. Even her supporters were now divided. Some begged her to speak her truth, while others advised her to ignore it all and let time do the healing. But ignoring it wasn't working anymore, especially not when Yandy decided to go live with a full sit-down interview on a popular gossip platform, and she didn't hold back. In the interview, Yandy spoke calmly but firmly. "I didn't come to Atlanta to be part of this fake loyalty game. I came here to work, to build, and to support Black women," she said. "But some of y'all are. Only about unity when the cameras are rolling. Off camera, it's control, clicks, and cover-ups." The interviewer, clearly caught off guard by Yandy's transparency, asked her if she regretted joining the Atlanta franchise. Yandy paused and said, "I don't regret it. But I do regret trusting certain people." That line hit hard. She went on to say she never wanted to be in the middle of anyone's marriage or drama, but once Kirk started accusing her, she had to protect herself. "I didn't throw the first stone, but if I'm gonna get hit, best believe I'm swinging back," she said. Fans praised her for staying poised while still standing her ground. The clip from that interview trended for 2 days. And the phrase "I didn't throw the first stone" started appearing on fan merch and reaction videos. On the flip side, Rasheeda finally took a step toward reclaiming her side of the story. In a carefully curated video filmed at her store, she sat down with a mic and said, "I've been quiet, not because I don't have something to say, but because I've learned silence saves peace. But when silence becomes guilt, that's a problem." It was the first time she directly addressed the feud. While she didn't name Yandy, she did say, "Anyone who feels like they've been mistreated by me, come talk to me, not the internet." Some praised her maturity. Others called it damage control. Kirk, however, was far less restrained. He went live in a car rant, visibly irritated, saying, "People out here trying to build clout off my name. They forget I've been doing this for over a decade? Don't play with my family." The comment section lit up with mixed reactions. Loyal fans defended him, saying he was just protecting his home. Others weren't having it, dropping receipts from past seasons that showed Kirk doing everything but protecting his family. What surprised everyone, though, was a message posted by Mendeecees Yandy's husband, typically private and reserved. He posted a short but pointed note. "They started it. And now they're mad because she ain't backing down." It was enough to send the fandom into another spiral. Not only was Yandy standing strong, but her husband was publicly backing her too, showing that this wasn't just a reality TV spat, had reached real-life loyalty levels. Production sources claim that all this drama has made the network shift the direction of upcoming episodes. What was once planned to be a season about rebuilding friendships is now becoming a war zone. New filming requests have gone out, new confessionals are being shot. And according to one producer who spoke anonymously, "We're letting the cameras roll longer than usual. The energy is unpredictable. Something big is coming." While the battle lines were drawn, the fans began to speculate about the reunion. Would Yandy and Rasheeda even sit on the same stage? Would Kirk be forced to answer for his claims? Would Jasmine be brought out as a wild card to spill more secrets? And perhaps most importantly, would anyone be willing to tell the whole truth on camera? With all these layers piling up, one thing was clear. The Yandy versus Kirk and Rasheeda saga had become the heartbeat of the show. Every post, every clip, every like or unfollow now carried meaning. The audience was glued to the drama like never before, and nobody knew which side would crack first. But one thing was certain, neither Yandy nor Rasheeda were about to fold. Too much had been said, too many eyes were watching, and every move now had consequences. The war wasn't just on screen anymore. It was real, and it was escalating by the day. The tension had reached a fever pitch. And yet both sides continued moving like chess masters, every word, every silence calculated. But behind the scenes, sources claimed it wasn't just emotional. Anymore, it was starting to affect business. Brand endorsements were suddenly going quiet. Joint appearances were being canceled. Fans started noticing that the once collaborative energy between Yandy and Rasheeda had completely vanished. Their brands, which had often overlapped at pop-ups and community events, now moved like they existed in separate universes. Insiders revealed that a major sponsor had pulled out of an upcoming joint campaign due to the negativity surrounding the feud. Both women, powerhouses in their own right, were now facing the consequences of public conflict, not just emotionally, but financially too. Amid this unraveling, Carly Red, once again playing the agent of chaos, decided to host a ladies' night dinner with several cast members. Sources say it was positioned as a reconciliation event, but everyone knew it had the potential to blow up. Both Yandy and Rasheeda were invited. Both accepted. And what unfolded was nothing short of legendary. The moment Yandy walked into the venue, the energy shifted. Eyes darted, conversations paused. Rasheeda was already seated, stone-faced, as if ready for a debate rather than dinner. As the women greeted each other, the air was thick with tension. There were no hugs, no smiles, just a quiet, uneasy acknowledgement. After a few forced toasts and lighthearted chatter from the others, Carly cleared her throat and said, "I think it's time y'all say what needs to be said. Enough of this social media shade." "We're friends? What happened?" The table fell silent. Yandy leaned back in her chair, exhaled deeply, then looked straight at Rasheeda. "I didn't start this," she said calmly. "But if you really want me to be quiet after your husband publicly came for me, then we not the friends I thought we were." Rasheeda raised an eyebrow, unfazed. "You didn't start it, but you sure as hell lit the match when you started throwing my name in your little rants." The exchange was calm, but it carried more heat than any screaming match could. "You think I wanted to be dragged into your drama?" Yandy replied. "You think I wanted to be the target of Kirk's bitterness? Girl, I kept your secrets out of respect, not fear." Rasheeda laughed, not amused but sharp. "Respect would have been calling me before going live and implying I'm out here playing house with my husband and his ex." Yandy shook her head. "Slowly, I never implied anything that wasn't already floating around. And if I had said what I really know, it wouldn't just be rumors, it would be headlines." That line sent a wave through the room. Bambi dropped her fork. Carly covered her mouth. Spice whispered, "Lord, have mercy." It was one of those moments where the weight of unspoken truths hung so heavy in the air that nobody knew what to say next. The table froze, everyone waiting for Rasheeda's response. But instead of snapping back, she just stared at Yandy and said, "Then say it. Say what you think you know." Yandy didn't flinch. She stared right back and said, "You sure?" Rasheeda nodded. The room held its breath. Yandy leaned forward and whispered just loud enough you knew about Jasmine. "Not after, during." Gasps erupted. Carly dropped her drink. Spice covered her mouth. And Rasheeda's face turned cold. "Watch yourself," she said, her voice low but cutting. "You crossing into dangerous territory now." The room was chaos. Producers stepped in. Cameras kept rolling. Security hovered closer, just in case. But both women stood their ground. There was no screaming, no throwing drinks. Just two powerful women staring each other down, each one refusing to blink first. Eventually, Carly tried to defuse the moment by suggesting they all take a break. The dinner wrapped early, but the damage was already done. That scene, once aired, became the most viewed episode of the season. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. Blogs posted breakdowns of every facial expression, every word, every background reaction, and more importantly, it shifted public opinion once again. Some now believed Yandy, praising her for staying honest. And others criticized her for airing out private pain for clout. Rasheeda's defenders said she showed restraint. Her critics said her silence was no longer strength, was avoidance. Back online, the aftermath was immediate. Kirk posted a shady meme about keeping snakes out your circle, clearly aimed at Yandy. Mendices posted a pic of him, and Yandy, smiling, captioned, "Built on truth." Fans took this as a clear sign of support. Meanwhile, Jasmine, who had gone quiet since her podcast appearance, dropped a story saying, "They're gonna stop acting like I'm the villain when all I ever did was tell the truth." Her words only fueled the speculation, Yandy, perhaps sensing things were reaching a boiling point, decided to post a long message, part reflection, part boundary setting. "I was quiet for years, protected people who wouldn't do the same for me. And now that I'm speaking, I'm the problem. Nah, I'm just done being the peacekeeper while others profit off the chaos." The post was met with overwhelming support, with celebrities, fans, and even fellow cast members reposting it with fire emojis and words of encouragement, RASHEEDA. On the other hand, posted a short video of her playing with her kids, captioned, "This is what matters. The rest, noise." It was a classic deflection, but people weren't buying it this time. Under her post, comments were filled with fans asking, "But did you know about Jasmine during silence speaks volumes?" Some urged her to speak her side too, not let Yandy control the narrative. But others said maybe her silence was her way of not giving more life to the drama through it all. The franchise was thriving. Viewership had spiked. Media outlets were running stories on the beef. Cast interviews were being booked back to back. Love and Hip Hop had once again proven why it remains the epicenter of reality TV chaos. And while the cameras captured every word and stare, what truly struck fans was how real this drama had started to feel. It wasn't just about entertainment anymore. It was about loyalty, betrayal, and the crumbling of a friendship that once seemed unbreakable by the time the reunion rolled around. Everyone knew it was going to be explosive. Fans were already placing bets on who would walk out, who would cry, and who would finally say what needed to be said. And while no one knows exactly how it ends, one thing is clear: whatever comes next will either heal what's broken or destroy it completely. As the feud continues to echo across screens and timelines, viewers are left wondering, can sisterhood survive betrayal? Or is this just the cost of reality fame, where friendships are only as strong as the next storyline? Either way, the battle between Yandy and Rasheeda has become one of the most iconic sagas the franchise has ever seen. And it's far from over. And now, after everything that's come to light, one question remains: where do we go from here? Has this friendship truly reached the point of no return? Or is there still a sliver of hope that Yandy and Rasheeda can find common ground? With emotions running high, alliances shifting, and secrets still waiting to be revealed, fans are left hanging on the edge of their seats. Was Yandy justified in exposing the truth? Or did she cross a line that can't be uncrossed? And is Rasheeda's silence a sign of strength, sort of something deeper she doesn't want to face? The Love and Hip Hop world has never been short on drama, but this feud has rewritten the rulebook. It's no longer just about shady comments or social media posts. It's about respect, trust, and the cost of being real in a world built on image. Both women have drawn their lines in the sand, and the fallout is far from over. Producers are still filming, cast members are still choosing sides, and the streets are still talking. But now we want to hear from you. Whose side are you on? Do You believe Yandy's version of events, or do you think Rasheeda's silence says more than words ever could? Was Kirk out of line for dragging Yandy into this? Or is there more to the story than we've seen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't hold back. We're diving deep into the biggest reality drama of the year, and your take matters. If you're loving the tea and want to keep up with every twist and turn, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss an update. Because trust us, this story is just getting started.